welcome to the Big Haired Bookworm channel. Lovely to see you. Hope you are well. Hope you're having a good day wherever it is you are and whatever it is you're doing. It's lovely to see you today. My name is Louise and this is the Big Haired Bookworm channel, and this is going to be episode of Yarn Chat. So I do two types of videos here on this channel. I do booktube videos where I talk about all things bookish, books that I read, books that I'm planning on reading, books that I have on my shelves, book loves, book hates, book peeves. And I also do yarn chat videos, and I've been doing these for about just over a year. I don't do them regularly enough, and so what happens is I end up amassing a massive lot of knitting and crochet that I want to show you, and I get kind of nervous and think, oh, it's going to take too long. But we're just going to go for it today. We're just going to have a super bumper length video, and then next time I shall do it more regularly. I promise you. I think I've said this before, but I shall do it more regularly like I do with my booktube videos. Then they're shorter and they're sweeter. They're not so feature length. Although I like a feature length video myself and I watch them. So my name is Louise and I live in the east of England, about 10 miles north of the university town of Cambridge, which I love. We've lived in this area for however many years, but we actually only moved into this house April time, so we're still getting used to it. And I would like to say Happy Halloween! Happy Halloween to you. So I have my few pumpkins around. I had set myself up somewhere really nice where I had a really nice backdrop, but the light today, as you can tell from here, is so sunny that I'm having to avoid getting the sun on me because it just is wiping out the screen and all you can see is white. So I'm having to move around. So it's not the most glamorous backdrop. It is my kitchen, but I've tried to jolly it up with my attempt at a pumpkin, and that is my 10-year-old son's Benedict's attempt at a pumpkin. And I have my little, it's scaring currently, one of our boos. So we have these dotted around the house, these little crocheted boos. I did these years ago. They were so super quick to make. And I think I just picked up the pattern off the internet somewhere. I don't even remember if it was a bought pattern or one that they do on like Love Knitting or something like that. They put out these free patterns ever so often, and I think it might have even been one of those. Very quick little crochet with some oddments of white, and I am drinking my cup of tea in my very seasonal spider mug hug. And if ever you're interested in colour work and you're put off and you want to just try colour work, mug hugs are such a good start because it's really contained and most of them are only two colours, so you're not having to carry, the floats aren't too much, you're not trying to juggle too many colours. The other one I did that's seasonal is this beautiful bat swan, and they're just really fun to do and I do recommend them. The other one is leg warmers, because it's just going round and round. So those, if ever you're interested in colour work and you think, I want to do colour work, I've never done it before, I don't know where to start, something like a mug hug or leg warmers, even if it's not for you, although, why wouldn't you, this time of year, a nice boot with a leg warmer on. That's a bit of a tangent, and let's not go down that. I don't have time for tangents today. So yes, as I said, I'm Louise. I live in the east of England. I live with my husband, who's called the husband, and our 10-year-old son, Benedict, who's at school this week. We had half term last week. Ooh, I can't believe we've come back. I do love those little breaks, little half terms. They're just so nice. And we went away down to Cornwall, down to the southwest, which is our spiritual home. So it's always a bit of a wrench to come back. But we did have All Hallows Eve to look forward to because we do love it. Not particularly for all the trick-or-treating, although, of course, Benedict adores it for all the trick-or-treating and the new sweets that are out and the idea of dress up. But, it's a bit more of a difficult time for me because it's anniversaries of... it's my dad's birthday. My dad died 9 years ago this week. So... it's a painful week, and it's also Samhain, which is the thinning of the veil. So you can sense them around an awful lot more, and so it is very bittersweet this week. I'm thinking of all the things that I'm grateful for, and I'm thinking about loves that I have lost. And that are no longer with us in physical form. So Halloween is an interesting holiday because everybody wants to dress up and do fun things and spooky things, and there is this other side to it, which I think many cultures acknowledge. So we've got both of that going on here in this house, which is why I don't do masses in the whole decorations, but I have to do some. However, I do have the best earrings. I have my spooky ghost earrings. And I also have such a good top. Are you ready? I'm gonna move you down so you can look at my chest. What's up, witches? Oh yeah, I have quite a good range of very daft t-shirts, and this is one of my best. That's not good. You don't want to see that much of my kitchen cupboards. So yeah, what's up, witches? It's one of my favourite tops. Every time I've worn this, somebody's just gone, oh, that's such a good t-shirt. Where did you get that from? And I got it from a supermarket. Sorry, just let's get you sorted. There we are. So there we are. So grab yourself a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or whatever your beverage of choice is. I was going to have a fancy cup of coffee because we've got a new coffee maker. Never had a fancy coffee maker before, but we found one cheap. They were obviously changing the stock over, and so there was we got a coffee maker cheap. One that you use kind of pods for, and it needs descaling. So he won't let me do it, and I don't have descaling tablets. I'm going to have to buy them. I was like, I just wanted a nice cup of coffee. Anyway, I've got myself a cup of tea, which I just have normal builder's tea. So, let's start with all the things that I have been making. So I have some finished masterpieces. I have some current masterpieces in making. And I have some stuff that's come in. And I'm going to try and do this as quickly as I possibly can. That's always famous last words with me. But I am going to try and do it this time. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. So let me show you my first. Now, I'm not even showing you the wool coming in for this. I'm not even showing you the yarn before showing you this finished make. It hasn't been blocked. And the reason it hasn't been blocked is it's very big. So it is ivy over the door, a wrap from the Shawl Society number 3 by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. So it is a very nice, very long wrap, and it is scrumptious. Now, it's got lots of lace in it because it's got a lace pattern all the way through it. So it does need to be blocked because then that's when the lace will really pop. But it is so big anyway, it can cope without the lace. It can cope without it being blocked. Because at the moment, I am literally wearing it as a kind of shawl. So I've been wearing it like that. And it is lovely. And it has this pattern on it. Now let's see if I can show you the kind of pattern. There we are. So it's flowing leaves up it. That's the wrong way. That's the pattern. There we go. So you're supposed to do it in two colours. You're supposed to do the bottom bit in one colour. So about that much. And then you change and you do the rest in this colour. You do the rest in the second colour and then you edge it again at the bottom. I didn't want that. I wanted to use more than 2 colours because I wanted to use this particular wool that I have got, and it is by Betsy Makes. Put it that way. There we are. Oh, look at that. It's by Betsy Makes. So let me show you. Let me show you all the details. Bum, bum, bum. So I used 3 types of yarn. And the first, this one, this main bulk, is by Betsy Makes. I ordered lots in thinking I was either going to make it twice and make it into a full wrap, or I was going to use this and try and make a cardigan out of it. And I don't have enough. I needed 4. So what happened was I ordered 3 and 3 and I should have ordered 4 and 2. So that was annoying. But that was my own mistake. So I am still looking out to see whether she actually does any more of this, because I might order some more, but we'll see. So it's Betsy Makes. It's called Little Smile. The base is Little Smile fingering weight, and the colour is Farewell. So I very much farewell to the year, because it has that kind of, it's golden. Now that is showing slightly darker. It's slightly more buttery than is showing up. There we go, that's a better. Can you see? It's the sunlight, because I'm having to do it behind a curtain, because otherwise I am. Can you see how? Oh no, you can't see. I'm just showing you my grey. Look at you. Not many people get to see that. But yeah, can you see? Oh, there we are. Look at that. It's all butter. It's got kind of gold. It's golden, and it's got browns, and it's got the kind of purple, and oh, it's lovely. And it's 75% superwash merino, 25% silk. It's luxurious, friends. It is luxurious. So that is what the main part of it is. The end, this colour is, ginger. Now, if I can get it nice. There we go. That's it. That's the colour. Ginger. And again, it's Little Smile fingering weight. Superwash merino. Silk. So I had 3 and 3. So I could have done it with ginger and then Farewell and then ginger, but I thought I just want to add a different colour in. I want more. And I had this glorious colour, which is, that just came in, that. Oh, isn't that lovely? Woo! Which is by Eden Cottage Yarns. Eden Cottage Yarns in Titus 4-ply, colourway compost. There we are. Colourway compost. 75% merino, 25% silk. So it's the same base. So what I do is in my patterns, I affix these so that I've always got it there. And that shows you how Helen imagined it. So that's a picture of the glorious Helen wearing it. So yeah, so there we go. You know how Helen does the patterns? So you print them out and then it's each line. You do it like that. So when you're knitting it row by row by row, you can tick off your row and you know how far you are through, and you know it's very comprehensive. They're wonderful patterns for that because they're so comprehensive. And that's her wearing Ivy Over the Door by Helen Stewart. So I didn't do it as an ivy. I didn't do it as ivy and that kind of stuff. I wanted to do my own colourings, and that was what it's going to look like when it's blocked. One day I will have enough room that I can block it, or it will be such a warm day, probably next spring, won't it? It'll be such a warm day I can actually block it outside. That would be the best thing. So I finished it in October 18, as you can see. I used 4.5mm circular needles, my higher sharps. I loved it. The only thing I would say is it was a very good pattern for it was repetitive, so once you knew what you were doing, you were fine. But you did have to keep, because the pattern just shifts a little bit all the time. Sorry, I'm just putting my pattern notes back away. Because it shifts all the time, I did have to keep an eye all the time on what I was doing and keep going, right, I'm on this line, this is what I have to do. On this line, this is what I'm having to do. So it was not totally just give in and relax knitting. You do have to keep an eye out where you're going and where you are in the pattern all the time. Whether or not other people would just know where they are and would follow it better than I would, probably. But I did have to keep an eye on myself. And so by the end of it, see how long it is. I mean, it is It is huge. I'm going to admit I'd had enough of it. I was very glad to come into the end. I used 3 skeins, and this is what I had. So of the main colour, I had this left. Of my ginger, I had this left. And of compost, I had that left. So that's out of 3 skeins. So it was almost a full 3 skein project. I mean, it's huge. It is huge. And if you don't like things being odd, as in you like your patterns, oh, hello, that's what it will choose, won't it? When it gives me my options for my YouTube captions, for my YouTube videos, it's going to show me that. No. Yes, this is how I'm wearing it. No, I'm not. That is the worst look. So I am... Oh. Can you tell why it's called the Big Head Bookworm channel? Big hair. I am wearing it so that I get to see all colours. Because I just, oh, do you know, I love all the colours and I get to see the ginger down here and I wanted to have it more. I don't like completely uniform or completely organised. I just don't. I like my colours to be a bit more free-flowing and a bit more... not exactly the same. So, yeah, well, the sun's going in and it looks a bit darker, but yeah. So there we are. It's this lovely wrap. Yesterday, I was quite cold. It was cold yesterday here. And so I thought, I don't want to put the heating on because it's going to be coming on soon anyway. So I just wrapped this round me and it was lovely. And it did really heat up really quickly. So I probably need a shawl pin or something. But yeah, I'm really pleased with that. It's going to become very useful. I'm going to keep it in the... And it's a bit too big to wear under a coat, but you can wear it wrapped around you. And yeah, come springtime, I shall be modelling it even more. So yeah, there we go. I'm fiddling with it. Let me stop fiddling with it. I'm going to put it over here. There we go. So I have still... my first finished masterpiece. I have still all of this yarn. So I have 2 more ginger and I have 2 more farewell. So they're not going to come another shawl. I might use them to make them for people, but they're just so nice. Oh, I'm not sure I could use them for a hat. I don't know. Cow would be nice, wouldn't it? I think I can get away with it. Oh, that's my one, I think. I think it's farewell. Anyway, so I've got 2 more chances to use this. Got 4 more skeins. So I'm very pleased with myself. Got lots of lovely, lovely yarn. So there we go. So that's both incoming and finished object. Number 1. Next finished masterpiece are my Strictly socks. Hooray! Strictly! Yes, Strictly Come Dancing. So I'm a huge Strictly fan and I'm also a huge Little Drops of Wonderful fan. So hello Ali, you lovely lady, you. She gave me a very nice shout out at the end of her last episode, I think, and I just want to say thank you. Excuse me, I've got something in my eye. My finger. She gave me such a nice said nice words, and so if you've come because she said nice words, then hello, lovely to see you. Glad you are here. I'm not as organised as she is. With my podcast, but then she's done more than I am, so I aim one day to be as organised as Ali. She's not the most organised, but I'm even less organised. But because she runs alongs, she runs cows. I've never done anything like that. Maybe one day. But she is doing the Strictly sock along, and I finished my Strictly socks. And so the idea behind the Strictly sock along is to knit Strictly inspired. So Strictly Come Dancing is our Christmas show, which starts in September and it's on every Saturday, and it's the ballroom Latin dancing talent show where celebrities learn how to do these amazing dances, and we all wish that we could do them in the big frocks and the gorgeous suits And it's just brilliant, and I love it. I love it. And if you don't like it, I can completely understand it. However, I can't bear talent shows normally. I don't watch anything like X Factor or The Voice or any of those. They're just not my thing. Strictly is probably the only thing that I watch. And it's so good because the three of us watch it, and Benedict pretends to do the dancing, and it is our Saturday night and then the Sunday night show. And we even watch It Takes Two during the week. And so when Ali said she's going to do her Strictly sock along for the second year, which is where you knit a pair of socks inspired by Strictly, and she encourages much rule breaking, I thought, I can do that because I'm not very good at following rules, but somebody that says break the rules, I can do that. And I had this brilliant yarn called Under the Sea, which was a mystery yarn club from Gamer Crafting, and it's got, can you see, it's got stellina in, so it's a bit sparkly, and it's mermaid inspired. And I would never have picked this up. It came with a little mini as well, with this beautiful purple. Well, that's a good show. I'd have never picked this up. I would have never have gone, oh yes, that's the kind of colours for me, because they're not really colours that I would ever wear. I'm much more tonal, I'm less variegated, I'm less sparkly. I'm not drawn to, you know, the kind of stellina that people love and everything. I'm not that drawn to it. But actually having this as a one-off, and it was so perfect for Strictly because it's got to have a bit of glitz and a bit of glam. And so I've actually knitted two. So these, I'll take them off my sock blockers. These sock blockers I got free with a magazine. So they're not perfect because they're just not long enough for how long I do the cuffs. I do the legs and the cuffs quite long. But yeah, Strictly sock along. So I did them in kind of UK size 6. So they're standard women's size. Too small for me because I've got big feet. But they would grow anyway a little bit. And I have got my 2 pairs. I just did in a standard vanilla sock pattern, that was the sock pattern I learnt, and it has a square toe, which seems to fit well. It has a heel flap and gusset, and I did them on my DPNs because that's how I learnt to do socks, and I do like doing socks on DPNs. So I like the fiddliness of it and the smallness. I use 2.25mm using 4 DPNs. And there we go. So that's my Strictly socks. I have some left. I'll show you how much I've got left. And I am now making these for Benedict because he is desperate for me to make him some socks. There's no point making him knitwear, because he won't wear it because it will be too hot, because he runs hot. So there's just absolutely no point. And he goes, oh, we should make me a jumper. I'm like, yeah, but what? I'd never blooming wear it. Excuse me, I've just dropped my ball. I'm back. So I've got that much left. So that's enough to make him a pair of socks. So I won't do them so up the leg. So that's enough for him, and I think I'm going to do 52 stitch count, because these are 60 and they'll just be too big for him. These are 60, was they 60 or 64? 60, I think. So this is a 60 stitch count. So I think I will do 52 because it has to be divisible by 4. So yeah, so I think I'll do 52 for him. Maybe 48? No, 52. Don't know. 48, 52. Well, either way, it can be nice and quick, isn't it? It can be a quick sock to do. So yeah, so I'm going to make him some. And he's like, "Way, finally, Mum, you're going to make me some." Like he's been, you know, hard done by over the years. He hasn't. I've made him lots of stuff. But anyway, those are my Strictly socks. So I'm going to take a photograph of them. In fact, I have taken a photograph of them and put it out on Instagram. Then if you want to have a chat and you're interested in chatting to me, I'm on Instagram. That's probably the best place. I have got a Ravelry account, but I'm not very good at using it. I haven't got into using it yet. I've got for patterns, getting patterns, but not for all the chats. I am in some of the groups. I just never remember to go and chat to people. So that's why this podcast does not have a Ravelry group, because I wouldn't go to it. I'd just completely forget it was there. Anyway, I am going to be in the Little Drops of Wonderful Strictly Sock Along chatter thread, and now, oh yes, in the FO thread. So I have made it to Blackpool, people that are doing the sock along. I have made it to Blackpool. Oh yes. Did you see it on Saturday? I don't care what you say. I am glad he left on Sunday. We all cheered. You know, say what you like. Should have kept his lips to himself, quite frankly. They should have kept their lips to themselves, and I was glad he left. And we cheered. Very kind of like in our household about that kind of thing. Anyway, my next finished masterpiece, drum roll please, thank you very much, is another pair of socks. Ta-da! Spousal socks. Yes, they were socks for my husband, and I have left his sock blockers upstairs, and they're proper nice ones as well. Hello. There we go. They are blocked. They're not blocked. I've just realised they're not blocked. Because I suddenly saw that line and I thought, well, that's the only thing with DPNs. You can get a ladder. You can get a bit of a ladder, can't you? Well, I can get a bit of a ladder. I know what some people can't, but once it's blocked, you can't see it. But anyway, this is Perrin Yarns. Where have I put the tag? So this is the thing. I've moved seat because I was sat over there, but it was really dark. Is it in there? No. Well, I'll put the details up on the screen. It's Perrin Yarns, and I bought it when I was down in Cornwall on our summer holiday, and I started it down there, and it's been lovely. Hence my progress keeper of a little ice cream, because we eat much ice cream when we're down in Cornwall. It's part of the law, actually. I think it's part of the law. And this is called Rocky Ocean. Isn't it lovely? You get that kind of flash. I can't do this. There we are. Flash. Rocky Ocean socks. It's a pleasure. It's really unusual for me, because it's not just kind of merino with nylon. It's merino with tencel. So I think that is kind of taking the place of the nylon, and it's 50-50. So it's 50% merino, 50% superwash merino, 50% tencel. And it feels more like bamboo. So when I have done socks with bamboo, and it feels more like that, you get the most beautiful stitch definition. But what it hasn't done at the moment, and I'm going to be interested to see when I block it, the stitch definition is quite strong, and it hasn't puffed out at all. So I'm going to see when it blocks whether it gets a bit more fluffy, because it's just not fluffy at all. You know how it needs the gaps filled in, if you know what I mean. But I think it feels like it will wear brilliantly. I think they're going to be hard wearing socks. So anyway, it's just a simple vanilla pattern. I like vanilla socks. Socks are my anywhere knitting. I like to have a pair of socks on the needles so that if I go anywhere, I can just pick them out. I need to make myself a needle minder, because that does happen, that I lose a needle and therefore the stitches are just left live. So I do need to do that. That is true. I need to make myself a needle minder. But I just like socks for on the go. I must admit, I find it the most portable of all the kind of projects. Oh, that's nice. That's a really lovely. It's actually slightly more kind of sea blue rather than that. It's looking more kind of royal blue. It's not such a dark colour. There we are, perhaps see there. But you see what I mean about the stitches? I mean, it's really kind of like quite clean, aren't they? But I think I'm hoping that once they block, they kind of puff out a bit more. And so, yeah, there we go. 2 pairs, 72 stitch count, and then 7 to 8 inches heel flap and gusset, and then all the way down for the size of his feet. And there we go, second pair. So I've done quite a few pairs of spousal socks, which is why I think Benedict is so like, you haven't done me any socks, because he sees me knitting socks and he goes, oh, who are they for? And I go, Daddy. He goes, you know, gotta do some knitting for the man. And he likes them as well. He's very knitworthy. He wears them. Is he wearing them today? I don't know. I don't know what socks my husband's wearing today. Is that a bad thing? Does that say something about the state of our marriage, that I don't know the kind of socks that he's wearing today? I might text him actually now. I've thought that. So what socks are you wearing today? Are they knitted socks? Okay. Why? Better than asking him what kind of underpants he's wearing. I have no interest. Socks, yes. Underpants, no. But therefore, I haven't made his underpants. And we're going to stop that discussion now. This is what happens. This is what happens when I start to let myself go. I let myself go quite a while ago, didn't I? You're looking at me going, that happened a while ago, sweetie. That's true. So, talking about socks, that's all I have to show for finished, completed. Doesn't seem a lot, but actually that wrap, no, it does. That wrap is a huge thing. This is what I'm currently working on. Let's go into current masterpieces in making. There we go. This is my new Strictly Sock Along socks, which I started yesterday whilst watching It Takes Two, and then I just carried on a little bit further so that I have some decent progress. Ta-da! And I have put a glitter ball on them, kind of a glitter ball, kind of a fun glittery ball. That's why it's Strictly, and I shall knit them while I'm watching Strictly. I am using Hey J hand-dyed yarns. I met her at Festival last year. I don't know if she's doing Festival this year, which is a fibre festival held in Hitchin in November. So actually it's not far away, isn't it? But I went to it and I met Hey J. Oh, such a lovely, lovely lady. And this is her 4-ply high twist sock yarn, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon in the moss colourway. I think you would agree it is moss. It is lovely to use. I think it's the 80-20. It is scrumptious. And having finished these ones, which were 50% tencel, this was like really woolly. It's like woo, woo. So I've just finished the ribbing, and I'm now on the way down. I'm doing 60 stitch count, DPNs, 4 DPNs, 2.25 needles, just my standard one. These will be a gift to somebody, so I'm gift knitting, and I am putting the little bit at the cuff, and then I will do the toe in this lovely black. Oh, look at that! Actually, I wanted to put it in the sun. Ooh, 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 look at that. This was from a sock set by Nora George Yarns called the Quibbler. So it's the ink of the Quibbler. But I mean, I don't do full cuffs, heels and toes, so I can afford to use them on other things. I'm just using it as a little mini, and I'm doing it there. Oh, I'll show you my little stitch marker. There we go. Can you see my stitch marker? It's a little cat. It's a sinister cat. Yeah, it's lovely. So there we go. So that is my current Strictly Sock Along socks in a project bag I made. Have I showed you this project bag? These are going to be Ben's socks. And I got this from Harriet's house on Etsy. She was having a sale of her Liberty bags, little Liberty sock bags. And I got it. So it's just white lined with this lovely Liberty fabric. So yeah, my little sock set. So that's got Ben's socks in, and then that's my other Strictly Sock-alongs. So I think probably that's all the socks that I will put on. I will have on at the moment. How long have I been going on? Oh my god! Oh, sorry about this, everyone. That's all I'm gonna have on sock needles at the moment. Ben's socks will be nice and quick. The Strictly Sock-alongs is when I'm watching Strictly. Maybe some other time. So that's my socks on the go, as it were. What else have I got? Now, you see, I haven't got a big knitting project. So since the shawl, and I've made quite a few shawls, and I don't want to make any more shawls for the time being. So I only got one neck, one set of shoulders. And I've made one for the mother-in-law, so I might make another one for her at some point next year. And I do like making shawls for people, so at some point I might make a shawl for somebody else, for a friend. I like making socks for people. That's really nice. So I haven't got a big knitting project, but I have got a big crochet project, which has been on the hook for ages. Are you ready? Yes, it's the Woodland Cowl by Attic 24. I'm on row 54 out of 90. She says 90. Maybe it's over 100. Is it over 100? I'm about halfway. Let me remove. I'm either halfway or just over halfway. Would you like to see how far I've got? Yes. I'm currently, no, that's the bottom. I'm currently using lime. There we go. I haven't knitted sewn in my ends for ages. It doesn't bother me. I quite like. I like to have a lot of ends to sew in, and I like sitting there for a good half an hour doing them. I found it very pleasurable. I'm unusual. I realise that. I never have a project with anything left out when I finish it, because that's one of the highlights, is you finish it and then you immediately sew in the ends. You're now thinking, oh, do you? I do. But yeah, when I showed it to you last time I was there, so I've kept this progress creeper in, it is a little, can I show you it? No, God, blimey. Other people do it so successfully. And I've got the sunlight. Tree of life. There we are. Believe me, it's a tree of life. And I've done this much. Really wonderfully autumnal colours. I mean, look at that. So it's a 2-row pattern. Trebles and then double crochet. It's a free pattern on Lucy's website, which is Attic 24. This is under the Woodland Cowl. She started running it, was it last year? I can't remember. I think it was. So yeah, so I think it was it the beginning of this year? And I got so far and then had to take a break from it. Picked it up last week before last. Just got right back into it, all the different colours, and I think it was all the different colours. And I did so much, I set my thumb off. Now, I did a lot of hand sewing when I was younger. I did a lot of patchwork and quilting, and I made patchwork quilts. And I like doing it by hand. And I think that's why I like knitting and why I like crochet, because it's all handwork, isn't it? So I did a lot of it, and what it did, it gave me slight rheumatism. It's not arthritis, it's rheumatism in my thumb. Maybe it's a touch of arthritis as well. But anyway, it's also it's not carpal tunnel, but it is similar to it. And it's because I'm putting pressure on this thumb from doing the needle for years. I used to have to take breaks from it because my thumb would start. And the way I crochet is a similar action. Well, it would be, wouldn't it? Because it's comfortable. So it's a similar action. And if I do too much, I set my wrist off. And it's I think it is almost carpal tunnel, because I get this kind of nerve pain and my thumb just tremors. And it doesn't do it while I'm doing it, it's afterwards, it's when I stopped. And what I was finding was, when I go to bed, my thumb would just go, and I'd be like sat there looking at it going, why is my thumb shaking? It doesn't hurt at all. Definitely nerve reaction, you know. Why is it doing that? And then I thought, after a couple of days, and it got worse. So the first day, I only did it for like kind of 10 minutes. And then the next day, I did it for longer. I thought, what am I doing recent? What have I been doing in the last couple of days that I haven't done for ages? And I was doing hours of crochet. So instead of just doing a row or two, I was doing 7, 8 rows, and it is quite big. And basically I was setting off my almost carpal tunnel, but my thumb, it's all in my thumb. So I'm going to have to take another break from it to let my thumb rest. So I've taken at least a week, and it's virtually stopped. It stopped doing it. So I know that it was the crochet that was setting it off. I've been knitting, and actually I have felt sometimes when I've been knitting, I've thought, am I doing a similar action? But it's fine. So I'm going to have to take a bit of a break. And it's a shame because it's perfect crochet weather at the moment. You just want to sit with a big blanket on your lap and do it. But I wonder if it's because I was doing it so much, and the pattern is very, repetitive, because it's a row of trebles and then it's a row of double. And it's just so repetitive. There isn't enough variation to give the wrist a chance. So there we are. I mean, it's a very big one, but I've done okay. Done 50 odd rows. So I shall give this a rest for about at least another week, and then I will have to limit myself. I will have to limit myself to, say, a colour a night or something like that. That might be the thing to do. Just one colour a night. When I say 50 rows, 50 colours. 2 rows per colour. So there we go. Anyway, it's getting there. Bobble of fur. Cats love it when I produce that. We have 3 cats. We have Molly, Sally and Indy. And if they see me get this out, they're like, "Whoa, I must sit on you. I must sit on you." And your wool. I had all the wool in a nice white basket. Nice wicker white basket. Which one of my cats, Sally, has claimed. So I've had to remove all my wool out, put old wool in that I'm not going to use, and it's just down there actually, you can't see it, but I've got a little thing of her, so I'll show you her in her wicker basket. So that's where all of this was stored, but not anymore. I'm using a 4mm hook, and I just use a metal pony. The yarn is Stylecraft Special DK. There are 15 colours, and if you look on the website on her cal, it gives you all the details of this. You can buy the yarn in a pack, in the Woodland pack from Wool Warehouse. I had the majority of the colours anyway, because I have a big stash of this. I find this acrylic, it is an acrylic yarn, it's not a wool yarn, brilliant for crochet. And a lot of people do amigurumi, these little crochet in the round to do little creatures and what have you, toys. You use cotton, but I find the Stylecraft Special DK is as good and as hard wearing as cotton. I prefer it on my hands, so that actually is Special DK as well. So a lot of, I think that might be as well. So yeah, so I find it for those kind of hard wearing projects. I find it as good. Anyway. There we go. So that's my big crochet. But I've had to rest on that. So I've got a big crochet, but I've had to rest on it because I'm hurting my thumb. So I've got 2 socks, having to have a rest. making presents, I pulled out this. So this is the Sincerely Louise Curious Project. So she does one a year, one a month. I think she might have stopped doing them, but she did them, and it was on the first. You could order them for the first 3 days of the month, and you didn't know what you were going to get. So it was a mystery club, and you could sign up for 1 month, or you could sign up for 3 months, or you could sign up for 6 months. And I did the occasional 1 month, and I've got about 4 or 5 of them. They are crocheted. No, they're not. They're knitted. They're knitted. So you don't know what you're going to get. But you get it in this tote bag, and it has everything in. So you get this tote bag. It's very exciting when it arrives. And you have everything in. I mean, everything. You get this written project, and I'm doing the raccoon slippers. And they're lovely. I've not done one before. This is my first one that I'm actually doing. I've been meaning to do them, and every time I get them I go, oh, I must do it. The problem is I don't particularly want to wear raccoon slippers. So I then suddenly thought, I'll have all the joy of making them, and then I'm going to give them to somebody else. So I've made, what do I have to do? I have to do 2 kind of slippers. I'm doing size medium, and then you have to do 2 ears and a tail, and then you sew it all together. You get all the details. I mean, it's incredibly comprehensive. If ever you're interested in buying one of these kits from Sincerely Louise, which is, what's her website? www.sincerelylouise.co.uk. You do get everything. You can get them with the needles, so you can choose to ask for needles or without needles. I think I said no needles for this one. Yeah, and you get all of the yarn, all the little remnants. I mean, you get everything, and if you need to sew anything on, it's there. It's brilliant. So here is my first slipper. Colour work. How am I going to show this? Not round your chin. There we go. So you can see there's the raccoon's eyes and its white face leading down to its nose. Then I will sew it up underneath, and it will look like that. There we go. And then that'll be the slippery bit. So that's what I'm doing. Very comprehensive instructions, very enjoyable to use. The yarn it uses is Yarn Stories. Hello, that's white. How am I going to show you? There we go. Yarn Stories, Fine Merino DK. I've never used Yarn Stories before. I would use them again. Feels lovely. Really scrumptious yarn to use. Very keen on them. Let me show you where I'm up to on the second one. That's the first one. Anyway, she said to do them on flat needles, but I'm using my higher sharp circular, which basically I use everything I use for higher sharps. Let's be honest, I love my higher sharps, my interchangeable set, and I just want to get some more. I should just get some more needles. So I'm actually wanting some more needles. Anyway, I'm that far in. I'm on the increases, which is very enjoyable. I'm sitting there watching TV. However, you do have to concentrate. It's potato chippy in the fact that you want to keep going, but it's not potato chippy in the fact that you really have to concentrate. But fun. But it comes with, I can't, there we are, sock stop. How cool is that? So this is the stuff, this is like rubber that you put on the bottom of your socks to stop them slipping. I know. So I should be putting that on them. That's going to be exciting, isn't it? So yeah, so that's it. So I'm doing that as a present. In fact, bringing that out. Oh, I found that. Quickly diverting back to something. I knew I had this somewhere. Perrin yarns. This sock. Perrin yarns. There we go. I've done my duty. Super 10 4-ply. 50% superwash merino. 50% tencel shade rocky ocean. Perranporth is just by where we stayed, and I actually was knitting them in Perranporth, where they have come from. I felt it was a full circle moment. There we go. So yeah, so I'm knitting those for people. I must get round to it because that's going to be a Christmas present. It's kind of nice, don't you think? So I get the pleasure of knitting it, and give it to somebody who doesn't knit, and they get the pleasure of wearing it. I have a lot of nieces, so that is going to go to one of my nieces, because I think that's kind of a niece's thing. I've got a 16, 17-year-old niece. Job's a good one. So I have been wondering what to do, what else to knit. I need something that's just sitting, knitting, watching the TV, that's not socks. Are you with me on that? How long have I been talking? Quite a long time. So much so, I'm having to reach for the water. Gin, really. It's not gin at 11:30 in the morning. Ooh, that would be quite something, wouldn't it? That would be quite a statement. No, just water to lubricate, because I'm talking so much. So I have been wondering what to do with myself. So this is going to be my next thing. I'm dying to do it. I've been slightly nervous about starting. I don't know why, because if you're knitting and it doesn't work, you can just pull it out and start again. But for some reason, I have been slightly worried about doing it. But I'm going to pull myself together. So this is both incoming and my next masterpiece. I'm going to swatch today for it. Are you ready? Are you ready? This is the yarn. It's more green than that. That's showing up quite brown, but it's actually more green. Can I get it to show up more green? No. In real life, that is more green. It's Eden Cottage Yarns. Do you like Eden Cottage Yarns, Louise? Yes. Yes, I do. Eden Cottage Yarns. There we go. Great sunlight today. This is the Oakworth 4-ply colourway Hedgerow. It's more green than it's showing there. And it is 100% New Zealand Polwarth wool. Oh, it's so woolly. It's not at all scratchy, but it's warm woolliness. It's fingering weight. It says 3.5 needles there. That's true. I'm doing on them. I should put my needle up a bit. I'm using my higher hand sharps, ready to swatch, and actually I'm going to put it on the 3.5 because it says 3.5, and I'm going to go with it. Although, let me show you the pattern. Are you excited? Teasing you. Dun 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 dun. Dun. I'm making myself a sinister cardigan, and I got the kit. So you buy everything apart from the yarn. It's everything but the yarn kit, and I bought it when it launched because I really want to make myself the sinister cardigan. Yep. These lots of cats. I wake up some days and the cats are like that, looking at me like, feed me. So I am using that as the grey. I have 4 skeins. I know. It's a luxury cardigan. It's not cheap. And then, oh, look at that. Oh, yeah, I know. Oh, sunlight on a rainy day. It's not rainy. Those are the other 2. So if you imagine that's more greeny. Oh, there we are. That's quite good. I think that's going to be lovely. That is colour. Those are my kind of colours. Oh, look at that. So it's all Oakworth 4-ply. This is Clementis. Yes, it is. There we are. Yep, good colour for me. And this is Antique Rose. Look at that. So these are both all of them are semi-solids. I mean, that is virtually a solid. Those two are much more semi-solids. That's not bad, but that's has a little bit of variation in. So let me show you what I'm going to do. So the hedgerow is the body and the arms. The little cats themselves is going to be the antique rose. Little cats. And then the clematis is going to be the top bit. Yeah? Is it going to look gorgeous or is it going to look gorgeous? It's going to look gorgeous. That's right. You answered it correctly. Oh, I'm so excited. Can't find the light. There we are. There we are. So I have all these skeins. I've balled up one, as you can see, to do my swatch. Top down construction. I've only made myself one cardigan. Put that there. I've only made myself one cardigan in the past. And that was Mina Phillips, who's the knitting expert. It was her mix and match cardigan. So that was a much more of an easy one to do because it was very basic. This was a colour work one and is a little bit more fiddly. That was a top-down construction. This is a top-down construction. I can follow a chart and I can follow instructions. So as far as I'm concerned, I will be able to do it. I don't know why. I think it's because everything is so kind of luxurious. I'm almost worried about getting it wrong. I'm doing it for myself. I don't know why. It would be a problem. But somehow I am. But that's going to look brilliant, isn't it? So I am starting this today. I am swatching today, friends. I'm swatching today. So I got the tote bag. I also got the stitch minder, the Progress Keeper. No, the stitch minder that I showed you on the Sinister Cat one. I got one. I got a tin with a sticker. I can't show you at all. There we are. It's a sticker of it's the same one. I got a badge of the Sinister Cat. You get little wooden stitch markers with little cats on it. Can I show you at all? No, I can't. There we are. Got little wooden ones, and then I got the little plasticky ones. Like it's actually got it on. Can I do that? There we go. And got lots of other stitch markers in here as well. The little light bulb ones, all different colours. So I can use those to mark off where the cats are as and when I need to. So I have a little maraca. And I got another sticker. Oh, we get a badge. And all of this is done by this lady. Caitlin, is it Berg? Cat pin. So it's caitlinberg.com. She's just released the pattern. She's also, yeah, she's on all the websites and everything. I'm going to show you that. That is all the information. Let me do that so you can't see the chart. There you go. Yeah. There you go. So that is what I'm making. It comes in its own bag, so I can use that as my bag, actually, can't I? I don't need to put it in another bag. Don't need to put it in anything else. I can put it all in here. Oh, it's going to be great. I'm doing that today. I'm going to change my needle size. It's said to do it on said to do it in 3, to do it on 2.5 or 3mm needles, but I think I'm going to do it on 3.5. I'm a tight knitter anyway, So that's going to become my big knit. So once I've done the actual cats, it's all stockinette. So, and it's in the round, and then you steek, and I've never done steeking before. Have you done steeking before? Knitters out there that are watching this. Knitters out there that have been watching this, have you done steeking before? Is it difficult? It can't be that difficult because other people do it. So you just follow the instructions, don't you? And the wool should be pretty good. It's wool, so it should hold, but I will either stitch reinforce or crochet reinforce, because that would be fine. So that's moving into incoming. So that's coming. So I got that 6 weeks ago. Really? I think it was 6 weeks ago, actually. And then it took me ages to choose my wool. I did want to use commercial wool because I didn't want to have to worry about changing colours and doing different, different skeins. But I think I am going to have to alternate the skeins. But there's been lots of stuff recently of people showing how to do it, to do a jogless join. Babel's Travelling Yarn has done a video on how to do a jogless join, so I might well do that. But that should be fine, other people do it. I'm not too worried about colour pooling. How much would I hate it? I think I probably would find it irritating. Anyway, let me show you some of the other stuff that's come in. Let me show you. And then I think we're done. And although this is mighty long, it's not going to be as long as I had worried it was. Okay, are we ready? My chum bought me these. Look at this. Now I'm going to see if I can find how I can get that colour. There we go. It is the new yarn by Stylecraft. That I like, the Special DK, and this is called Colour Pool, and it was in her local shop, and so she bought me it because she said these are your colours, and they are. And it's a grey, a darker grey, lighter grey, and two types of purple, and it's completely my colour palette, utterly correct. There is a free pattern for this cowl on the reverse of this ball band, and actually when you knit it up it comes up like that. Can I show you this? No, wrong way. There we go. Can you see the pattern there? That's how it knits up. Isn't that amazing? So she bought me this, and you need 2 balls to make that. Actually, it's crochet, not knitting. That's crochet. That's good. So I got the other ball. So I got her to buy me the other ball and paid her for that. But it does mean I've got 2 balls. So she bought me this. So thank you, my darling. And so I've got 2 balls in the sunlight. There we go. This hasn't been annoying at all. If I do that, is that easier? No, that's worse. That's better. Oh, you can see my Hoover. That's my Hoover. Yes. Yeah, we've got a cordless Dyson. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Got 3 cats. I Hoover a lot. So yes, there we go. There we go. You get to see the colours. So I've got 3 of this. So thank you, my gorgeous lady. She bought me one, and then I bought the other. And I'm going to do this. It's a cowl. I'm going to crochet that. So there's that. Put that down there. As I said, we went to Cornwall. Get out of the bag. Went to Cornwall last week for half term. And so I did a little bit of souvenir knitting, and I went into a wool shop I hadn't been to before in Truro called Truro Wool. It was very nice. It's very small. It's got an awful lot of Stylecraft and King Cole. It's mainly mass-produced commercial, but she did have a little range of indie dyed. In particular, this one, which is Madder About Wool. Can I show you that? There we go. That's the... and there were lots of different colours. Had some that were more kind of, had speckles in, but they look like they might be a bit irritating to work with. This is hand dyed in Cornwall. This is called Jewel, and it's very much dual tones. It will be spousal socks. Socks for the husband. And it is superwash merino nylon, so I should imagine it feels 75-25 is what I'm thinking, rather than 80-20. So yeah, so I've got that. So that was very nice. So I bought that, 100 grams, 400 meters. Nice pair of socks. They will look lovely. You can see the colours I like, can't you? It's that, again, that kind of colour. I asked the husband to pick this up for me. Yes! It's the Moon issue. Issue number 26. Issue number 27 has just come out. I don't think I'm going to get it. I mean, they're beautifully produced and everything, but I'm not going to knit anything from this. But I do want to knit some things from this. Look at that. I'm sure if you are a knitty person, you have seen this. It has been everywhere. I really want to knit this top. I don't think I'm going to knit that because I'm tall, and I'd have to alter the pattern too much, and it's got an awful lot of pattern to alter. Do you know what I mean? I am not confident enough with myself to change a colourwork chart, and it's very much designed so that goes in that part of you, but it would be too high for me, wouldn't it? It would be. I just thought, no, I'm not going to do that. I'd love to, but I'm not. It's beautiful, but I do like some of the others. There is a shawl I liked. The only thing is it's in mohair. Not that into mohair. I find it too scratchy. I'm just not a mohair person. And I know that sounds completely wrong, and everybody's going, oh, you don't like mohair? What kind of woman are you? Everybody likes mohair. I don't like mohair. I'm not going to knit with it. But I do love this, which is a really simple one. This is, you're supposed to knit it with mohair. Just going to knit it and leave the mohair out. I'm going to be a rebel. It's Artemis. Isn't it lovely? Oh, lovely. I'm not sure about a scoop along my back. Give it a go. I also really love this, and this is the Luna. And I love it in the black and white. Oh yes. That I would wear. Not sure how high. Don't particularly like things up there, but I'll give it a go. The only thing is that's brioche, and I don't know how to do brioche, and it's one of the things I want to learn. And I keep saying I'm going to learn how to do brioche, and I am going to learn how to do brioche. Thing is though, I need time with nothing else to do that I can learn how to do brioche, and at the moment I want to do gift knitting for Christmas, so I think it's going to become January. I'm going to clear the decks a little bit, and I'm going to learn how to do brioche, and you can learn it with me. No, don't. You learn it, and then when I can't do it, I can come to you, if that's okay. I really like some of these patterns. Not sure about the moon bow. I'm not sure I want detail like that across my chest. Maybe if you're young and trendy. Do I want fringing across my chest? Oh, it's on a postcard. It's also crop top. No, I'm 45. My days of crop top are long since past. And then the last thing I've got to show you, again, I think the new issue's just come out, is the Simply Crochet New Look Nordic Winter. It's got some lovely things in this. I do actually want to make that little reindeer. Look at him. Yes. So it's got some lovely things in here. So yeah, so that's that was that way. And it came with this, and I really must just do it. Little monster kit. A hook to go with it. So I do want to do that. So I should just do that as well. And there we go. Oh no, one last thing. Back in the summer, Countess Ablaze did something called the Tits Out Collective. So she released some yarns, some specially dyed yarn, called If I Wanted Exposure, I'd get my tits out, and tray bakes and rude word tea. Yes, keeping it family friendly. So tray bakes and shoot tea. So she did those two, and then she arranged a collective where she released what the colours were and said, if you want to do your own interpretation of this, we will all sell them over this period and donate money to all the various charities, and thousands of pounds was raised because of this. And it was called the Tits Out Collective, and it was a short window where lots of people were producing yarn of similar colours, and you had to, and they were like flash sales. A lot of it was on Instagram, and I did manage to find some, but the only one I managed to get hold of was this one, and it's buttoned up and pinned down. That is her card. There we go. Buttoned up and pinned down. She actually doesn't live that far from me. And this was it. This was her colourway. It's with self-striping socks. And the progress keeper, the little stitch marker, which I can't show you, is a bra. And it's called If I Want Exposure, I'll Get My Tits Out in Your Face. I won't. Don't worry. But that is the colour. So I only managed to get... I knew I was going to buy one yarn. If I could find one yarn, I would do. Oh, the phone's going. Sorry, I'm going to have to pause you. I've got to go and answer the phone. Right, I'm back again. I'm taking the phone call. We've got our car in for a service today. Just a mini one. And of course they phone up and say, oh, you need new tyres. Have you ever had a service and they've not got you need new tyres? What we do with our tyres, I don't know. Anyway, we needed a front right, and the front left wasn't looking good either, so I've said, right, we'll have both. And then the car will be coming back, and it'll be coming back much quicker. So that's good. So that's good. Apart from that, the car's healthy. Thumbs up. So that's why I had to take the phone call. And that's it. I was showing you this colour, wasn't I? There we go. I've kind of shown you it. And the bra. It's got a little bra. I can't show you. Here we are. No, wrong way. Sun, there we go. You can see it's got a little bra. So I shall be, and it's already balled up for me. Hurrah! So I shall be, I think after the next socks, I shall do these. I think the husband will wear these. I don't wear handmade socks. I have hyperhidrosis, which means I have excess water in my hands and my feet. And although that means that my feet are nearly always cold, I don't like, they react to things like wool. I tend to wear cotton socks. I go through them quite a lot, but yeah, so I don't tend to wear them. They almost seem to set my feet off more. These things do. Anyway, that was it. I was ashamed about that phone call because it was right at the end, but that's it. That's it, my lovely people, on this scary Halloween day. I've done quite well. I know it was super long, and I can't really edit it down, but that was it. I've done it. I managed to do my yarn chat. Woohoo! And I can put my stuff away now rather than keeping them in piles ready to show, ready to podcast. I can actually now put them away in the appropriate places. And if I'm gifting things, I can send them. And so I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased about that. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've had a nice time. What my plan is to edit this and have it up by tomorrow. So it's Wednesday the 31st of October today. And so this will go up tomorrow, Thursday the 1st of November. I do something on a Friday called Friday Reads, which is my weekly check-in for the books that I have been listening to and the books I've been read. If you're interested in that, come and check those out. My Friday Reads go up. They're much shorter. They're just a small little video on a Friday, and I let you know what I've been reading and whether I've got any reading plans for the following week. And then I look to come back and do another yarn chat within the next fortnight. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do them weekly, but I'm definitely going to do them fortnightly. So I will see you hopefully for another yarn chat in a fortnight's time. So happy knitting and happy crocheting and happy crafting, everybody. And I look forward to speaking to you again soon. This has been lovely. Let's do it again.